Day 29 Word of God Isaiah chapter 41 verse 16. You shall winnow them, the wind shall carry them away, and the whirlwind shall scatter them. You shall rejoice in the Lord, and glory in the Holy One of Israel. Isaiah chapter 41 is a chapter that reassures Israel of God's faithfulness and power, contrasting the impotence of idols with the sovereignty of God. It addresses the fears and anxieties of Israel, assuring them of God's protection and deliverance. In this verse, Isaiah prophesies about the downfall of Israel's enemies and the eventual restoration and rejoicing of God's people. You shall winnow them, the wind shall carry them away, uses agricultural imagery to depict the destruction of Israel's enemies. Winnowing is the process of separating grain from chaff using the wind, symbolizing the thorough and complete judgment that God will execute upon those who oppose his people. And the whirlwind shall scatter them, reinforces the idea of swift and powerful judgment. A whirlwind symbolizes a powerful force that scatters everything in its path, illustrating God's decisive action against Israel's adversaries. You shall rejoice in the Lord, and glory in the Holy One of Israel, calls Israel to respond with joy and praise to God's deliverance. It encourages them to find their ultimate satisfaction and pride in God alone, recognizing his holiness and faithfulness. Throughout the Old Testament, God demonstrates his power in delivering his people from their enemies. In the Exodus, God delivered Israel from the Egyptians through the parting of the Red Sea, Exodus chapter 14. In the conquest of Canaan, God gave Israel victory over their enemies as they trusted in him, Joshua chapter 6. In the New Testament, believers are encouraged to find their joy and glory in Jesus Christ, who fulfills God's promises of salvation and victory. Philippians chapter 3 verse 3, 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 31. For believers today, Isaiah chapter 41 verse 16 speaks to God's faithfulness in delivering his people from their adversaries. It reminds us that God is sovereign over all powers and principalities, and he will ultimately bring justice and vindication to those who trust in him. This verse challenges us to find our joy and pride not in worldly accomplishments or possessions but in our relationship with God. It encourages us to rejoice in his salvation and to glorify him in all aspects of our lives. God bless you.